Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to explore 4 of the Buddha's most profound teachings. These aren't complex philosophical arguments, but simple, powerful stories that reveal the deepest truths of our existence. Over 2,500 years ago, the Buddha discovered what he called paṭiccasamuppāda, or dependent origination. This is the precise mechanism explaining how our suffering arises, and, more importantly, how it can cease. Through 4 interconnected parables, we'll journey to the heart of this teaching. We'll start with the house builder to see how craving constructs our prison of suffering. Then, the blind turtle will show us just how rare and precious this current opportunity is. We'll feel the urgency with the burning house, a parable that reveals how we unknowingly fuel our own pain. We'll find hope with the ancient city, which illuminates the clear path to freedom. Each of these stories reveals a different facet of dependent origination, showing us not only how we create our suffering, but also how liberation is entirely possible. Let's begin. Imagine the moment after countless lifetimes spent wandering through cycles of birth and death. The Buddha finally saw the truth. That very instant, he proclaimed a victory cry, recorded in the Dhammapada. Through many births, I wandered, seeking but not finding the house builder. Sorrowful it is to be born again and again. O house builder, you are seen. You shall build no house again. All your rafters are broken. The ridgepole is shattered. The mind has attained the unconditioned. The end of craving has been reached. So, who is this mysterious house builder? The Buddha identified the builder as craving, the relentless, invisible architect constructing our existence, lifetime. This isn't just a simple desire for pleasure. It's the deep, fundamental thirst to exist, to become, to be asterisk, someone, asterisk. The house itself is this body and mind we mistake for permanent self. The rafters holding it all together are the defilements: greed, hatred, delusion, pride, and envy. And the main support, the ridgepole holding up the entire structure, is ignorance, the fundamental blindness to how things truly are, impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without any solid, independent self. The Buddha explained that ignorance is the foundation, craving is the tireless builder, and every single thought, word, and deed motivated by this ignorance becomes another brick in the wall. Lifetime, we build. Sometimes we build a mansion of wealth and privilege. Other times, a shack of poverty and despair. Then death comes, tearing the house down. But immediately, craving starts building a new one. But here's the key. When the Buddha saw exactly how this house was built, he could finally dismantle it. Once you see the builder at work, you can stop handing it the materials. The rafters of defilement break, The ridgepole of ignorance shatters. No more construction, no more builder, no more house. What's left is the unconditioned Nibbana, true freedom. This isn't about being destroyed. It's about being liberated from the compulsion to build, to become, to be reborn into suffering again and again. To understand just how critical it is to see this builder now. The Buddha shared a striking image. He said, "Suppose this great earth was one vast ocean. A man throws a wooden yoke with a single hole in it onto the water. The yoke is tossed about randomly by winds and currents. Now," he continued, "imagine there's a blind turtle living in the depths of that ocean, and it only surfaces once every 100 years. The Buddha then asked his monks, 'What do you think? Would that blind turtle, surfacing only once a century, happen to put its neck through that one small, drifting hole?' The monks replied, 'Venerable sir, it would be extremely unlikely. Only by chance, after a very, very long time, if ever.' The Buddha's response was devastating. 'Sooner,' he said, 'sooner would that blind turtle find the yoke than a person who has fallen into the lower realms would regain a human birth.' Think about that. A blind turtle surfacing once a century in an endless ocean, trying to find one tiny, randomly moving hole. The Buddha said that would happen sooner than regaining our current human form if we lose it. Why is it so rare? Because in the lower realms, there is no opportunity to practice the path. There is only raw survival, instinct, and suffering. Through the process of dependent origination and ignorance leading to craving and clinging, we have all been like that turtle, wandering for eons, surfacing rarely and sinking back down without finding the path. Right now, in this very moment, you have found the hole in the yoke. You have a human birth. You have access to these teachings, and you have the mental capacity to understand and practice them. This combination of conditions is extraordinarily rare. We cannot afford to waste it. This might be our only chance in countless lifetimes to break free completely. Now, if the house parable shows the structure of suffering and the turtle shows the urgency, the next parable shows what it feels like, moment to moment. The Buddha delivered his most dramatic teaching, known as the Fire Sermon, to a group of 1,000 former fire-worshipping monks. His message was stark and simple. All is burning. He explained, the eye is burning. Forms are burning. Eye consciousness is burning. Eye contact is burning. And whatever feeling arises from that contact, pleasant, painful, or neutral, that too is burning. Burning with what? Burning with the fire of greed, hatred, and delusion. Burning with birth, aging, and death. With sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. He went on. Applying this to all six senses: the ear and sounds, the nose and smells, the tongue and tastes, the body and touch, and even the mind and thoughts. Everything is burning. This is dependent origination playing out in real time. Contact happens at one of our sense doors. A feeling arises. Craving ignites like a spark on dry tinder. Clinging intensifies the flame. The process of becoming is fueled, and suffering blazes. Every moment of our lives, we are standing at this fork in the road, where sense experience can either be met with wisdom or become fuel for the fire. The house that craving built isn't just standing there. It's on fire, and we're inside, trying to redecorate the rooms. But the Buddha also showed the way to extinguish the flames. Seeing this, he said, the wise disciple becomes disenchanted with the eye, with forms, with feelings. Becoming disenchanted, he becomes dispassionate. Through dispassion, he is liberated. When you stop throwing fuel on the fire, it simply goes out. When craving ceases, there's nothing left to burn. This is Nibbana, the extinguishing of the fires. The house stops burning, the builder stops building, and what remains is peace. So, if we're living in a burning house, and this is our one rare chance to escape, where do we go? This brings us to the final parable, the ancient city. The Buddha described his own path to enlightenment not as an invention, but as a discovery. He said, suppose a man wandering in a dense forest sees an ancient path, an ancient road traveled by people of the past. Imagine being lost, exhausted, and hopeless in a jungle. Then, under the vines and overgrowth, you spot old paving stones. You realize someone has walked this way before. This path leads somewhere. The man follows it and discovers an ancient, deserted city, a delightful place with parks, ponds, and walls. He then goes to the king and says, "Restore that city." The king does so, and the city once again becomes prosperous and populated. The Buddha explained, in the same way, I saw the ancient path traveled by the perfectly enlightened ones of the past. And what was that path? It is this Noble Eightfold Path. Right view, right intention, right action, right action, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. He didn't create something new. He rediscovered a timeless truth. The ancient city is Nibbana state of peace that has always existed, waiting to be found. The overgrown path is the law of dependent origination itself, understanding how suffering arises and how it can be reversed. And the dangerous wilderness is the endless cycle of rebirth we've been wandering through. Just like the blind turtle in the ocean, this parable offers immense hope. You are not forging a new path in the dark. You are rediscovering a road that has been walked by every enlightened being. The Noble Eightfold Path is the practical method for clearing away the vines of ignorance, revealing the way that was never truly lost. So, let's bring it all together. All four parables illuminate the Buddha as central discovery of the 12 links of dependent origination from ignorance, all the way to birth, aging, and death. The house builder shows the complete architecture. Ignorance is the foundation. Craving is the builder. Our actions are the materials, and the house is the self that is born only to decay and die. The blind turtle illustrates the immense rarity of our situation. We have surfaced and found the path. We must seize this opportunity. The burning house shows the chain in real time. Every moment of contact, feeling, and craving is another log on the fire of our suffering. And the ancient city shows us the way out. The Noble Eightfold Path is the practical map that reverses the entire process, leading from ignorance to wisdom, from suffering to freedom. Suffering isn't random. It arises from specific causes and conditions, mainly ignorance and craving. And because it's conditioned, it can be unconditioned. This means freedom is possible for every single one of us. So when you feel trapped in old habits, remember the house builder and see craving at work. When you feel lazy or tempted to procrastinate your practice, remember the blind turtle and the preciousness of this moment. When you're lost in desire or aversion, remember the burning house and stop adding fuel to the fire. And when you feel lost or hopeless, remember the ancient city. The path is here. It has always been here. The choice is yours. Will you let the builder keep building? Will you let this rare chance slip away? The teachings are here. The path is clear. Thank you for listening.